Special Rupee Vostro account, that is SRVA, is in news. The reason being, of course, import export. Why? Because these accounts are related to facilitating the import and export. So let us understand why they are in news, what this account actually is. Any other account which is similar to that, we'll see that also, which will be your Nostro account. At the same time, we'll see what benefits does it have and why we have brought that in. So India, of course, we all, the entire world wants to facilitate the trade. Entire world wants to facilitate export import. There are international organizations as well. Similarly, India also wants the facilitation of import and exports, especially exports, so that we can export more and more and generate foreign currencies as well. But at the same time, even imports, because certain imports would be necessary or mandatory imports. At the same time, certain imports would be required to bring down the inflation or bring down the prices of certain commodities. One such commodity which we have been importing for quite some time, and the reason is because the production is less, at the same time the cost is higher for that commodity, that is the pulses. So India have been importing a lot of pulses in the recent past, and this Special Rupee Vostro account has also been brought in for facilitation. So what's the reason to bring that SRVA account? The reason is facilitation of imports of pulses from a specific country. Which country we are talking about? From Myanmar. So the reason to bring SRVA is facilitation of imports of what? Of pulses from Myanmar. That is why we have come up with SRVA. Now, why is the reason to bring in that? See, whenever we are exporting or importing, what will happen? When you talk about exports or you talk about imports, we are talking about these two concepts with respect to two different countries. It's not at the state level, but at two different country level, two different countries. So when there are two different countries, there would be what? There would be two different currencies. Okay, two different currencies. So what will happen when, let's say, I as a country wants to purchase something from you as another country? So I will get the goods and services. Then my currency is X, your currency is Y. So will I pay you in currency X? If I pay you in currency X, where will you spend? You cannot spend that in your own country. So you may want me to pay you in your own currency Y, right? But I have X currency. So what do? I would be first required to convert X currency into Y currency. Now just imagine, we are traders, we are trading, import-export business. So will we be wasting our time, effort, energy, money, everything in trying to keep converting this currency at different changing rates of currency in the market, right? And also when you convert currency, there is a cost associated with it. So if I am trying to trade, if I am trying to buy some product from you and then sell it in the Indian market, for example, a lot of money is getting lost, a lot of time is getting lost. At the same time, I am not an expert of this. So what does the government then do? The government facilitates this process. The government facilitates the import-export process with the help of Vostro and Nostro accounts. So our focus initially would be Vostro account, which India has implemented, and then we'll look at a similar concept of Nostro account as well. So what the government of India has done, the government of India has come up with Special Rupee Vostro account between, not required for all the countries, we are doing it only for the import of the pulses from Myanmar, hence between India and Myanmar for rupee and kyat. Kyat is the name of the currency of Myanmar, and this is done through PNB, that is Punjab National Bank. It is done so that the importer of India, the trader who is importing the pulses of India, do not face any issues with respect to the currency, conversion of currency. At the same time, when Myanmar is selling us that, we are importing, so we have to pay them, right? So when we have to pay them, we will be paying them in rupee. So Indian trader, Indian importer will have to convert that. That should not be the concern of the importer. The government will take care of that through this special Rupee Vostro account created in Punjab National Bank. Correct? So we understood why it is required to facilitate the import of pulses. Now, coming on to what is Vostro account. So Vostro, and then we will also look at what is Nostro account. So in Italian language, for example, in Italian language actually, Vostro means yours and Nostro means ours. Okay, so as India has opened Vostro account in Punjab National Bank, that means that India has opened foreign banks account, opened foreign banks account, okay, where in Indian, that is in domestic bank. So when a country, in this case India, opens a foreign bank's account in its own country's domestic bank, in which currency? In Indian rupees. Indian rupees as in domestic currency. Okay, then such an account is called as Vostro account. Vostro account. As I said, the meaning of Vostro is your account. So it is your account. Meaning it is your, who is your here? It is the foreign bank. Foreign bank, foreign country, foreign entrepreneur is the person, and we are opening their account. That is why it is your account, the foreign country's account, the foreign bank's account, which is open in our bank, domestic bank, Indian bank, in our currency. But whose account is there? It's your account. Clear? So that is a Vostro account. Now the opposite of it is Nostro account. Now this same Vostro account will, from our perspective, it's a Vostro account for the foreign bank, right? Open in domestic Indian bank in Indian currency. For the foreign banks, it will be what? It will be our account. So to the similar thing, the foreign bank will say it is our account opened in, so our account here we are talking from the perspective of the foreign bank. So foreign bank, when they are talking up from their perspective, they become for themselves, they are domestic. So it is our account, that is domestic bank's account, opened in foreign bank in foreign currency. Clear? So for foreign bank, it would be considered as a Nostro account. For Indian bank, for Indian trader, it would be considered as a Vostro account. Just imagine if some other country is trading with India and they open a Vostro account, that will become Nostro for India, because Indian bank's account will be open in their country in their own currency. All right. So that is the difference between Nostro, that is our account, and Vostro, that is your account. Clear? Now there are three important components which will help the facilitation. which will help the facilitation of imports by the Indian traders from Myanmar. And those three important components would be: number one, all export and import. All export and import will be denominated in domestic currency. Will be denominated in the domestic currency. And in this case, it will be what? It will be the rupee. Now, of course, domestic currency, but how will you convert it into domestic currency? By a conversion rate. So that conversion rate will be decided what? By what? By whom? By the market. So next is exchange rate of the currency. Will not be determined by the government, but it will be determined by the market. So it will be market determined exchange rate. Finally, when the payment happens, when I am doing the payment for the imports that I am having, I don't have to convert it into kyat or any other currency. I will directly do it in the Indian rupee. This SRVA account will take care of it. So final payments will be in Indian rupee. Okay, so these three are the important components of this SRVA account. Remember, it is opened in the Punjab National Bank. Now, what does it do? It streamlines and facilitates trade. It makes trade efficient. So there will be efficient trade now. Efficient as in cost of trade is reduced. Why it is reduced? Because you are not worrying about the conversion of the currency, that is taken care by this bank. You are dealing only in rupees. All right. So that is the concept of Vostro account we have seen, and also a related concept of Nostro account is also what we have understood.